Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, hello and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show, the #1 talk show for empowering, inspiring, motivating, and helping people, especially women and girls, to see that it is possible. What is possible? Your vision, your dreams, your hope, your desire, everything you want to accomplish is possible if you only believe. And you know what I say, you got to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. And that's Real Talk. I am Dr. Judy, the People Architect, and your Real Talk with Judy host. To all of you, thank you for joining again on the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I am so excited and thankful that you joined. Listen, this is a very important time, a very important season right now. It's voting time. It is time to vote. So I want you via radio, Facebook Live, YouTube, and the radio's app. To all of you outside of Tallahassee, thank you for viewing us. But I want you to share. We're gonna relate to you some very important information today about voting, about just a lot why it's important for you to vote, and I have one of the greatest men in the world as my guest today, and I'm honored to have him. But audience, I'm thankful that you all have decided to come back. Do me a favor, please. Go ahead and share. Text. Those of you on Facebook, text, share. Get everybody to in on here so they can hear this. Those of you who may be driving, you can't do too much while you're driving. So I don't want to tell you to do all that stuff while you're driving. Then you get in an accident. Then you're gonna call looking for me because I told you to do that. No, those of you who driving, just tell somebody to call somebody to tell somebody who's everybody that we're on the radio, okay? But I want you to go ahead, call, text, tag, get everyone you know on here. Why I do something. Y'all know what I got to do. I got to say hello to my mama, Mother Irma Hunter Wesley, down there in Fort Lauderdale. Hello, Mama. I want to thank y'all. I'm gonna forever thank y'all for praying for my mother, because I know that it's the effectual, fervent prayers of the righteous that have given my mom the strength and the joy. Y'all, God has blessed her, and she's doing well. She's doing well. So as long as there's breath in her body, we told her to just go ahead and live. Ain't no need in sitting there dying and all that kind of stuff. We told her to live. But I want to thank all of you for doing that. She's still my advisor. She is my trusted advisor, and I want to say thank you. And my mentor, and my shero, all that stuff. And to my awesome, amazing husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell, the senior pastor of Life Changes. He is the reason I get to do what I do. Y'all going to be seeing more of him, I believe, on Tuesday with me. So after a while, it's going to be the Jerry and Judy show. Something like that. But and to my amazing production team led by Priscilla John Louis, our marketing director. Priscilla, thank you. She does everything. She does my flyers, all of my brochures, the banners, business cards, pictures, whatever you need. I say contact her, and let her make your work look as well too. And so thank you so very much, Priscilla. Again, to you, the greatest audience, thank you for tuning in. We're glad to have you all here. You all keep me coming back with great enthusiasm and sharing with you. Okay, as I said, it's voting time. And today I have the distinct honor and privilege of having on my show one of the greatest men ever, and on my show, and he is hold on, Pastor might need the other one. He is known as the dean. He's known as the dean of the commission, of the Tallahassee City Commission, because he's been there the longest.
Yes.
And not only that, he has served in so many capacity, you all. He has served in so many capacity. And I am so honored to have him with me today. He is, let's see, he's been serving, I think, since 2014.
U.S. on the City Commission.
On the Tallahassee City Commissioner. He's been serving since 2014, but prior to that, he has done so much in this city. He has done so much. He has served as in the House of Representatives.
Yes, Florida House of Representatives.
I tell you what, I was gonna do this like big super introduction of him and bring him in like the big celebrity that he is, because he is. To me, he's absolutely fantastic. But I'm gonna bring in y'all Commissioner Curtis Richardson, Tallahassee City Commissioner.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem of the Tallahassee City Commissioner. He has been there since 2014.
Yes.
2014. We keep re-electing him, and we're glad to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Richardson.
Well, good morning, Pastor Mandrell. It's always a pleasure to be with you and Pastor Mandrell, Pastor Gerald Mandrell. You all are such wonderful people and do so much in this community, both through your church, but your service to the community as well. And I tell you, one of the proudest labels that I wear it with honor is my label as an honorary sister girl. The only male in the city of Tallahassee.
The only mayor.
That is an honorary sister girl. I wear it proudly. Yes.
But you know what? I want to say this to you, Commissioner Richardson. I call you the Commissioner of Tallahassee. You and Diane William Cox. You, Commissioner, show up everywhere.
Yes.
You do. You, even when you're not running to be reelected, you show up everywhere. Y'all, I'm not kidding. He's at prayer meetings. He's at recitals. He attends funerals. He's everywhere. Now I would say about 95% or 97% of the things that happen in Tallahassee, all across this city.
Yes. Commissioner
Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Richardson show up. And this is what I like about it also, you all. He sometimes he's in the back. He won't even come forth. When you ask him to come forth, he won't even come forth. He's there for support. He's there because he wants the people of Tallahassee to know that he cares. And I know this for a fact, because a lot of the places where I show up, he's there. Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Richardson is there. He's supporting. He's hugging. There is nothing. And this is what I want to say. He made time, and Commissioner, I've never said this to you, but I appreciate, because you make time not just for people in high position.
Oh, yes.
You
absolutely.
make time for lack of a better word, y'all please forgive me, for lack of a better way to say this, for the common man, the lowest person on the totem pole, so to speak, but for the common man.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, that means more to me than anything. I want to say thank you from all those common people.
Pastor Mandrell. And I won't, and that's part of what I determine is my role as a public servant. I do not describe myself as a politician. I never have, never will. it's my job to serve the public, to be their voice. And so I can't do that unless I'm where they are and making everybody feel important, and that their concerns matter to me. I have lived on the south side of Tallahassee for 30 years, actually 36 years. I was a renter before my wife and I married and built our home on the south side of town. But we've been there for 30 years. We've raised our two beautiful daughters there. And that meant something to me, because we were willing to make that kind of commitment on the south side of town when people questioned, well, why are you moving over there? My wife and I could have lived probably anywhere in this community that we wanted to, with our income and professions. But we made that commitment, and we've been there. We're still there, even though our kids are grown and have made us so proud. One is a Naval Academy graduate. She just finished flight school in Pensacola. And my youngest is here visiting with us now. She will be a second-year midshipman at the academy when she goes back later this month. But that's how I want people to feel, and it makes me feel good when I go in the grocery store or the pharmacy, or I'm at an event somewhere, and just as you said, Pastor, common people will come up to me and say, Commissioner Richardson, this is what I've got going on in my neighborhood. How can you help us with that? It's such a pleasure to see you. And we just have a regular conversation. They don't have to be anybody highfalutin with a title or live in a certain neighborhood. And that's very important to me, because that's how I grew up.
Yes,
I grew up in a family of 8. I was the knee baby.
The knee baby.
Pastor Mandrill.
And the knee baby.
Yeah,
y'all know what the knee baby is. I know what the knee
That's
baby
the second to the youngest.
Yes.
The one next to the baby. And there was 8 of us. My mother was largely responsible for raising us. My dad was in the military. He did 30 years in the Navy and came out 100% disabled. 4 of my brothers served in the Navy, 2 in the Air Force. My sister and I were the only 2 that didn't do military service, but we were raised humbly.
Yes.
We didn't have air conditioning. We had to put up the windows to let the breeze blow through. We didn't have indoor plumbing, Pastor Mandrill. My parents didn't get that until after I graduated high school.
Wow.
And they moved into a new house. So I grew up humbly that way, and I've maintained that aspect of myself and my personality since then.
And Commissioner, where are you from?
Green Cove Springs.
I had never heard of that until they awarded him
a key to the city. Yeah.
And I'm like, from where?
Yeah.
But
it was a little segregated country town, in northeast Tallahassee, just south of Jacksonville, Tallahassee. Northeast Florida, just south of Jacksonville.
Wow.
And so that's what made me be the humble servant that I am. We were raised in the church. I've maintained that. My family is a member of Bethel AME Church here in Tallahassee. My daughters were raised in the church. And we just believe in God and the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. And when God blesses us, that way we feel it is our responsibility to be a blessing to others.
And I want you, as I stated, you attend every prayer meeting.
Yes.
You attend
I haven't missed one.
Meeting. You have not missed one. You've been out with us in the rain.
Yeah.
And everywhere you have been there. Even in places, I know Reverend Holmes started the task force with which he put me over. And he wanted us to go to places where people were actually killed.
Yes.
And Commissioner Richardson, and y'all, I'm saying this because I want you all to hear. In a few moments, we're gonna ask him some questions, but I want y'all to hear the heart of Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to hear. We see him, and his word speaks so loudly for him. It really does. It speaks so loudly for him. He's a man that, I honestly trust. I really do. I trust his word. And sometimes when I don't understand why he voted somewhere a certain way, I understand and trust his heart. I really do. I trust his heart, knowing that he's not going to put the citizens of Tallahassee in jeopardy.
No, no. And my commitment, Pastor Mandrell, as I mentioned, my wife and I decided, we made the decision to build our home on the south side of Tallahassee and to live there for as long as we have. And the reason I ran for the city commission, I had just come out of the Florida legislature, the House of Representatives, and thought, at that point, my political career had ended. But at that time, former Commissioner and Mayor Andrew Gillum decided he was going to run for mayor when it became an elected position. And I looked at it, I talked with some people, certainly discussed it with my wife, and realized that in the history of this city, there had never been an African-American who lived on the south side of town representing us on the city commission.
Okay.
And that's what prompted me to run. And I saw the needs of the neighborhoods on the south side of town, in Frenchtown, in Griffin Heights. And so I felt that it was then my responsibility to do what I could in that role as a city commissioner to bring changes to those neighborhoods. And I think we've accomplished a tremendous amount to revitalize and redevelop many of those neighborhoods that were once neglected and had nobody to focus on improving them. And we've done that.
Yeah, and you still got work to do.
Yes.
You still got work to do.
Oh yeah, lots more work.
And we see that you all have done. And I want to hear, I know we have a lot of, excuse me, sometimes negative whispers in the community, but your work is really speaking for you.
Right.
So I want to ask you, even before we get into there, you've already served 10 years.
Right.
As a Tallahassee City Commissioner. Why do you want to run again? Why do you want to run again?
Because I love this city, Pastor Mandrell, and it's growing. The city is growing. We have some issues that still need to be addressed, and I feel that I can still contribute. If I didn't think that I could contribute to the conversation, that I was not able to work as hard or harder than anybody else on the commission, I wouldn't be doing this. But I know that it's where God wants me to be at this point in time in my life. And so I want to continue to work for the people, all of the people of the city of Tallahassee, of course, because we represent all of those people, but people who look like me and who live in my neighborhood and neighborhoods surrounding mine. I want them to know that they've got a representative on that city commission. And now I've got a partner, of course, in Commissioner Williams Cox. She lives on the south side of town. But I want them to know that they've got a voice, and it's somebody that they're going to see in the grocery store, in the barber shop. They don't have to come to City Hall to meet with me, right? Yeah. Or call me on the telephone. Yeah. They're going to see me in the community at a FAMU football game.
My uncle Skip said, he said, you're going to see Diane Williams and Curtis Richardson everywhere. He said, you're going to see Curtis Richardson at the gas station.
Yes.
He said, and people are going to come up to him, and he's trying to pump gas. He said, but he's going to stop and talk to them. And I think it's important that if you're holding an elected seat, that the people who have put you in that seat should see you outside of the seat.
Absolutely. And that's what people will tell you about. I have people tell me all the time, Commissioner Richardson, there's got to be several clones of you. When do you sleep? But the one thing that I have always done, because family is so important to me, my family has always come first. I've never neglected my wife or my children. They come before anybody else or anything else. And so I have to reach that delicate balance. But yeah, so that's why I continue to want to serve. to make this community be better for all of her people. And the thing that I tell people all the time, Pastor Mandrell, is that, the city of Tallahassee has twice been designated an All-America city. I want every resident of this community, regardless of where they live, to feel like they live in that All-America city. That's my goal. And that's the vision that I have for Tallahassee.
Man, I love it. And you're working hard towards it. Two things I want to say and what you just said. Your wife, Judge Nina.
Yes.
Richardson is an absolute phenomenal woman.
Yes.
And I think all of us in Tallahassee would agree that you have a phenomenal wife who's right there by your side.
Yes.
And the same spirit, just hugging and smiling and saying the kindest words to everybody. Everybody. We appreciate that about your family.
Yes.
And then your girls. I was wondering how they got in the Navy but you just explained it to her, because like the dad is commissioner, the mom a judge. Well, where all this Navy stuff come from? But we are proud, and I can speak, me and my husband and others I know are proud of the way you love your wife and your girls.
Yes.
And one of the things that has been true, that is true, your record of you being a family man and loving your wife and girls speak for itself. Yeah. And I believe that that's what we need on the commission.
Yes.
You're not a rowdy person.
No.
You're not. And one of the things, and we're going to discuss this as we move forward. I hate. I think this climate is so full of evil and hatefulness. How do you keep your balance?
It's very unfortunate that we've gotten to this point in our city, in the political climate. Pastor Mandrell, I have never served that way. In every position that I've been honored to serve, I've been able to at least work with my colleagues. We might be from different political parties. We may differ in terms of our opinion and approach and a solution to the issues that confront us, but we would agree to disagree and still be friends and still socialize with each other. It's gotten so polarized now, it makes it difficult. And it's just a really polarized environment right now. And I certainly hope that at some point real soon we can get beyond that. And I'm hoping that we will have a commission that can then begin to demonstrate that to the community. It's unfortunate that so much of what they hear is the inability of commissioners to get together in this so-called powerful majority. It's not a powerful majority. We are representing the interest of the people of this community and moving this community forward. And those that want to be a part of that and share that vision, we'll work with them. But if you don't, then we have to leave you behind. And I think the proof is in the pudding. If we look at this community and how we've grown and what we've accomplished, the recognition that we've gotten from cities across the state of Florida, across the country, Tallahassee is on the move, and I'm proud of that. And look forward to continuing to serve and move this community forward.
What's some of the things you have helped to accomplish in our city? Because our city, I mean, as we look around, Commissioner, we are building. The South Side look good. We are making some good strides, and I want to say I commend the commission where we are right now. You all have done. I mean, everything is not perfect,
right?
I mean, nothing is in life. My husband and I've been married 43 years. I want to think we got a perfect marriage. I believe we have a perfect marriage, but I know there's we ain't fault free.
Right.
We're not. There are some things in there, but we ain't giving. We're gonna be 40. How long? Okay, Let's see, how long we been married? Okay, actually, I think we've been married 42 years and we're going into 43.
Okay.
What happens is, like, October 17th will be 43 years.
Wow.
Will be 43 years. But like October 18th,
Sure.
I start on 44 years. So I get confused because I'm always a year ahead because I know we're going to make it. But Commissioner, you all have made some good strides.
Oh, absolutely.
You all have made some good strides. We still got some bumps in the road that we're straightening out, and I know you all are. And it is going to get there. Give us some things that you have helped to make happen in this city to help us to be twice. You said twice named?
Twice designated an all-American city.
As an all-American city.
Yes.
And there was something else we just got to.
We've been designated as having the strongest economy.
Yes.
In the country.
In the country.
Now, that doesn't say that everybody is middle class or no city has that.
Okay.
But what it does say is that we have been able to build an economy that works for our city, and we can provide services for those who are in need because of the kind of economy that we have here in Tallahassee. And so, yeah, we were very proud to have been recognized that way. And it wasn't an application. We didn't apply for it. This was an independent organization that looked at cities around the country and chose Tallahassee as the one with the strongest economy in the country.
Wow. When I saw that, I was going to ask you that. What does that mean? But thank you so very much for explaining that.
Right.
What are some of the things that you have helped to accomplish? Because I want people to understand that you're not just sitting on a seat.
Right. Right.
That you're working.
Oh, absolutely. And Pastor Mandrell, Curtis Richardson's fingerprints are on so much in this community. Like I said, everybody that I've served on, my goal has been to make sure that life for African Americans in this community is better when I leave than it was when I was first elected. And I'm proud to say that I can point to that as a school board member.
Yes.
I was the first African American male elected to the school board and to serve as chairman in my 8 years in the House of Representatives. And since I've been on the commission, and I think the one that I'm most proud of is what we see at Columbia Gardens at South City, which used to be the Orange Avenue housing project.
Yes.
That we were all ashamed of.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, my wife and I adopted a family that used to live in the Orange Avenue. It's a single mom. She has 3 kids. We still, to this day, stay in contact with them and support her and those children. But I worked to get the South City area in the CRA district.
Okay.
Brenda Williams, who's the executive director of the Housing Authority, and I shared a vision of what that development could look like, but she had to have the funding to get it done. And so we worked. It took me 4 years because I had some opposition from the board. They didn't want South City to be in the CRA district, but we finally got that done. And that was some of the seed money that Brenda was able to get to begin the demolition and reconstruction of what was a 50-year-old, outdated, sad housing project that people were living in. As a matter of fact, there's going to be a ribbon cutting on September 17th, and Brenda has asked me to be the speaker for that event because of my involvement in making that happen. As the vice chairman of the sales tax committee, I advocated, along with some others, Terrence Henson, Christy Kenry, I think we might have had 1 or 2 other African Americans on that sales tax committee. But we got millions of dollars in blueprint funding committed to the south side of town. We just approved $230 million to revitalize and redevelop the fairgrounds. I advocated for a $27 million fire station that will be located at the intersection of Lake Bradford Road and FAMU Way. 27 million. And so these are the kinds of projects that I thought to the South Side and to predominantly Black neighborhoods throughout the city. We, and with the help of course, of Commissioner Williams Cox, we accomplished something that had been unprecedented in the history of this city. We approved $6 million for redevelopment and revitalization for 5 predominantly Black neighborhoods: Frenchtown, Griffin Heights, Bond, South City, and Providence. $6 million. And we told the residents of those neighborhoods, we want you to tell us how you would like to see this money spent. That brought about the grocery store that's being built in the Griffin Heights community, because they identified that area as being a food desert. And they said, we want to bring that grocery store back. That has led to housing improvements in neighborhoods like Bond and Providence. Yeah, this was all unprecedented. We are now about to get a Southside Star Metro transfer facility, another $27 million facility. And it will make transportation accessible to the people on the south side of town. They won't have to wait an hour at the bus stop, go to CK Steel for another hour, and they will be the routing will take them to places that they need to get to, like a grocery store or a pharmacy, and back home in a timely manner. Just across the street will be Orange Avenue Meridian Park, a brand new park on the south side of town. Pastor Mandrell, I could go on and on. I don't go around bragging about these things, but
I want to hear it.
Anybody will tell you it was Curtis Richardson. The other thing that I'm very proud of, because it involved my daughter, Zyla Street, which is the street that runs in front of Fairview Middle School. We're about to do a ribbon cutting for the improvements to that corridor. When my daughter was a student at Fairview, I recognized that they had a little sidewalk on the west side of the street, but it didn't have railings and it had open ditches. And it would often lead to cars running over in the ditch. It didn't protect the kids as they tried to walk to school. I would challenge anyone to go to that corridor now and see what it looks like. We got sidewalks on streets where mothers were pushing their baby carriages in the middle of the street on Putnam and Polk and Texas streets in the South City community. If you look at, there's construction going on even now. They're improving Magnolia Drive from Meridian, and it will run north to Appalachia Parkway, but it's already completed from Meridian to Pontiac. These are the kinds of things that I have brought, Pastor Mandrell, through my leadership. I couldn't do it alone. I had to have support, but these are the kinds of things that I've advocated for. We're making improvements in the Jake Gaither neighborhood. We just added some parking for the Jake Gaither neighborhood center. We are putting in LED lighting to improve the safety in those neighborhoods. We've got sidewalk improvements. I could go on and on probably through the rest of this program with the kinds of things that we've brought.
But I want us to hear it. I want my audience to hear it. Minister Howard, thank you for getting people on here, and y'all share this. But Commissioner Richardson, I want the people to hear it.
Yes.
I want us to hear it, because you're so many times, especially in our neighborhood, so many times they up there, they don't care about us. Exactly. They don't care about us. But you have to look at, I wanted him to share. I did. I didn't send him one question ahead of time. I didn't tell him what we were talking about ahead of time, because I wanted him to talk from his heart. I want him to answer these questions that I'm asking from his heart.
And Pastor Mandrell, they have recognized the 32304 and 32301 zip codes as the most impoverished in the state of Florida. Well,
32301?
Right.
Oh, Father,
and 4. And so what we have done through our efforts to improve the economy of our community, we brought in the Amazon Fulfillment Center. 1,600 jobs at $17 an hour. The majority of the employees in those positions are from those very zip codes. That is improving their lives, their families' lives.
Wow.
Amazon is providing educational opportunities for those that want to continue their education. We've got Danfoss Turbocore in Innovation Park, which is an international compressor manufacturing company that has hired hundreds, if not thousands, of employees out of those zip codes in the south side of town. And so those are the kinds of things that we want to continue to push for the city of Tallahassee. We're working to rid our predominantly Black neighborhoods of this violent crime. We put some initiatives in place and the money to go with those initiatives. We have one of my priorities since I've been on the commission. I talked about Columbia Gardens, but one of my priorities has been affordable housing. I serve on the board of the Tallahassee Lenders Consortium, which is a partner with the city of Tallahassee to provide affordable housing in predominantly Black neighborhoods. I serve on the city's Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, and also volunteer with Habitat for Humanity because I want to see people who want to be housed. Now, I have to tell you, there are some homeless people out there that they want to be in those woods. I've seen it. I've been out there visiting with them, and that's where they want to be. But anyone who wants to be housed, I want there to be an affordable place for them to call home.
And Commissioner, I think that's a very important point that you just made as well, because we must understand that there are some people who do not want to be in housing.
No,
they want to be in the woods. There are some people who won't even take their medicine. They would not take their medicine. But with all of that, you all are still providing. You are still putting your hands in making life better for the people in the entire Tallahassee, in the city of Tallahassee, but also in our impoverished areas. So we want to thank you because it is important that we understand that. One of the things I told Principal Stokes, we are partners with Riley Elementary School, and all of our the majority of the children there are from 32304. So I told them we would not say that they're living in the poorest neighborhood or the poorest zip code, simply because when things come, when you say it and you keep saying it, they start believing that. And the behavior act that way, and the parents act that way. So we tell them, hey, no, you're not living in the poorest neighborhood. I know what they say, but you're not. And there's so much richness in you. But what you all are providing is exposing them to the possibility, exposing them to the possibility of better. You're making that happen, Commissioner, and I think that is good. And I think it's important that people hear like this, not a forum. I'm not trying to have debates and stuff. I want people to hear what's going on, what you're doing for real. And it's hard to mention Curtis Richardson without mentioning Diane William Cox.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you all are fighting for us.
We are.
And Curtis,
we are.
I know I've seen it. I've been in the you all are good. I'm telling you all. I know I'm not built to be a city commissioner because all that attack that come out. I told them I don't have no more cheeks to turn. So we'll be going on. We'll be slapping each other all around. But the way you, I know I've seen you sometimes get a little flustered.
Oh, absolutely.
But how you handle it and what you helping to provide in this city. To help the people who look like us, who don't have, who's not don't have accessible to them, to gain some stuff, making those roadways possible. That is to be commended. Sometimes we hear all of this blah blah, but I want to hear what have you done. Even when you wasn't. You didn't have to run, Commissioner. You still working.
Oh, absolutely.
This is not
and I still volunteer in the
Yeah.
community. I'm a member of a number of organizations. I just emceed a program recently for a recognition banquet that we had for Boy Scouts of America. And I give my good friend Steve Beasley credit for this. One of the things we're trying to do is include more African American youth in the scouting movement.
Wow.
And Steve has led the initiative in that way. And it is. Yeah. And so that's how we steer our children away from this gang violence and violent, well, I won't say gang, we don't have gangs in Tallahassee, but this violent crimes is to get them involved and show them that there is a better way, show them positive role models. And so that's one of the things that has been a priority of mine also in many of the organizations.
I have a text message here from one of the members of St. Peter's.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, he said, I hear you with Curtis Richardson right now.
Mm-hmm.
He said, talk about seeing him everywhere. He was in St. Peter's Parish Hall in St. Peter. And he said a few months ago, you was at St. Peter's.
For the prayer service.
And you were there. And so we just want to thank you. I mean, you're all over the city.
Yes.
And people, here he's a member of St. Peter's. And he's saying you were there.
Yeah.
So
and then we were there at the church in Griffin Heights that had 32 chairs in it. 32. And there we were praying, asking God to look over this community and help us to become a better community for everybody.
And you show up. And with that in mind, I want to invite people on August the 22nd. The prayer group, the United Prayer Summit group, along with us, the Tallahassee City, we're having a luncheon at St. Peter's. It's free. Only thing I need you to do, especially pastors or elected officials or those who want to come, it's free. That's August the 22nd. You can call me 850-212-8805. We got to call me before Thursday so I can put your name in and come here. How the same thing that Mayor Pro Tem is talking about, how we want to unify the city.
Sure.
We're praying against this gun violence.
Yes.
This gun violence, this crime and gun violence in our community. And my understanding, if I'm correct, it has gone down some.
Well, the regular crimes we've made an impact there. The violent crimes continue. I mean, it's almost like every time you pick up the newspaper, just recently, within the last day or two, the guy shot his girlfriend, her mother, and her mother's boyfriend. And then he took the girlfriend to the hospital and then turned himself in to police. This was this week or this past weekend. And we can't understand why it continues to happen.
I think it's going to happen to the end of the world. I think so, but I don't think it's the commissioner's responsibility. I know I hear it, and they fault y'all. They fault you. The city commission can do better. We have to get to the mindset of these men and women.
Yes.
And I believe that you all are really trying. I do.
It's going to take all of us working together.
Everybody in this.
Yes. My family has been impacted by violent crime. A young man was killed on the church grounds near our house. He was a personal friend of my youngest daughter. And Pastor Mandrell, the perpetrator, was one of our 17-year-old neighbors. This is how we've been impacted, my family. So I'm all in, as the sheriff says, when it comes to addressing that issue. But what do you
all do? I mean, I know we have a mental health challenge in our community too, Commissioner. So many people on the street who are mentally ill.
Yes.
And some take their medicine, some do not. We don't have a Chattahoochee where they can put them out. I mean, they're not just going to accept them anymore because Chattahoochee is full. Appalachia, can't accept them long. The behavior, you could Baker Act them, but what's that, 2 or 3 days?
Mhm.
And so we have a issue there.
Yeah.
We just do.
Yeah.
What do you all? I mean, I know that you all are thinking about this. What do you all?
Yeah. I mean, we're putting resources. I mean, of course, it's not the city's responsibility, but we are putting resources into those organizations that cater to the homeless and who want those services through the Carney Center and some of the other social services organizations that exist in the community. We're partnering with them to make sure. And this new House bill now that says that we've got to provide a place for a plot or a lot or for these people to live, and it's got to have running water and lights and security. That's going to be a challenge, but that's one that this entire community is going to have to come together to address. But the state put that on us and didn't provide the resources to
Just
cover
do it.
Just do it.
Just make it happen.
Yeah.
So, Commissioner, let me see. I want to ask what are you all working on? I know that a lot of people in our community, the Black community, don't really trust the police. They don't trust the police. What are you doing?
Well, I give Chief Rebel and his leadership team a whole lot of credit because they are doing a lot of things to reach out into the community. This summer, they've provided community days throughout the city for young people. They take the fire trucks out and they provide snow cones and hamburgers and hot dogs at the various community centers. They have an adult advisory committee. I think Pastor Ferguson is either the current chairman or the past chairman of that organization. We have a youth advisory council to the police department. We had a citizens advisory board. The legislature disbanded those. So we've done all that we can to improve those relationships. And the chief constantly is working on that by being involved in the community and having conversations and making themselves accessible to people in the community. But I can tell you, we can't go without police protection because when those things happened in my neighborhood,
911.
There you go. The first thing I did was call the police.
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't go unfund the police, and I want to make sure that they have all the resources that they need to keep us safe.
I'm in agreement. We need the law. We need the law enforcement, and just I think I've talked with Assistant Chief Holmes, because I just believe when I grew up, there was just a good relationship with the officers in our community.
They walked the neighborhood and they knew your parents.
Played basketball and they knew your parents and they would take you home, and I believe that as we go back to that and different things, I think y'all are putting forth some effort, and we just got to get and the trust come both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
The police officers are going to have to trust the citizens, and I think it comes over time. And I think we've had a lot of shootings and got violent crime, but I think we're doing a little better. They're being shot, but not as many as being killed.
Right.
And one killed is one too many.
Oh, absolutely.
But you all can't. Even our sheriff department, which I think is, you ask me, I think we got the greatest sheriff in the world. Even with all of that, you all can't be everywhere.
Right.
And start
it's going to be a community effort. We can't police our way out of these issues. It's a community effort. And I was hoping, Pastor Mandrell, I know we're about to run out of time, that we talk a little bit more about this voting and the importance.
We were about to do that. I'm about to get into you right now.
All right.
I want you to tell how important it is for them to vote. And
Pastor Mandrell, it is extremely important. I grew up in a little town, like I said, and I never saw my parents vote because this was before the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. And so, but when I came to FSU, I registered to vote on that campus, and I have voted in every single election since 1974. I haven't missed one. I got both my daughters at age 16 registered to vote. When my youngest daughter will vote for the first time this election cycle. And so voting is so important because, as they say, when you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And we need to have people representing us in every elected position and that understand what our issues are and will represent our interests. This upcoming election is critical. I really believe the future of our city is at stake, and we've got to have people show up and vote. The city does not have districts, so if you live anywhere within the city limits of Tallahassee, you can vote in this primary election that's coming up a week from today, August 20th. You can vote by mail. They've got early voting going on now until Saturday, I think it is.
18.
There are 10 early voting sites throughout the city. If you have a vote by mail ballot and you want to take it with you, you can drop it off. They have drop boxes that you can drop your ballot off. But it is so important that we be involved. Our every single vote counts. So no one should say that their vote doesn't count. We've seen elections won and lost by one vote. And it makes a difference. All those things that I talked about that we have been able to provide for the Black community here in Tallahassee may not have happened if we didn't have myself and Diane Williams-Cox and the support of the mayor on that commission, directing our city manager to make those things happen where they haven't been happening in the past. That's because we have people at the table and we're not on the menu. So I just encourage everyone within the sound of my voice, our voices, to get out and vote in this primary election that's coming up August 20th and the general election where we're going to be possibly electing, I'm hoping, praying, electing the first Black female president of this United States of America. And we all are going to have to be involved in that process.
Yeah. So listen, my sisters and brother, please go vote. My husband and I voted Saturday. We voted as soon as they opened up early voting. My husband and I voted. So please, you've heard from Curtis, Mayor Pro Tem Curtis Richardson. I wanted you to hear from him. He's a common man commissioner.
Yes.
But he represents us on that board. He represents us on that commission. So please go vote. Go vote. He shows up everywhere. And I believe that he really does have our best interests at heart when he sits on that desk at that city commissioner. If you don't vote, you're not voting is giving up your voice. You're giving up your money. Voting is an opportunity for change. And guess what? The community depends on your vote. As Mayor Pro Tem said, that one vote, because you're saying your vote don't count, could be the very reason to put us on the table and not at the table. Commissioner Richardson, thank you so very much.
Pastor Mandrell, it has been an absolute pleasure. It's always a pleasure for me to spend time with you and Pastor Mandrell, your husband, because you all are just a shining example of what we all should be about in this community. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We love it. I want y'all to please join me every Tuesday for Bible study on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. and every Sunday in person at Life Changers at 11 a.m. for a great experience in Sunday worship and the Word of God. Don't forget to subscribe to my Real Talk with Judy Live YouTube. I cannot and will not end this show without telling one of my heartbeats, happy birthday. That's Kiara Sheffield. That's my niece. But I tell her happy birthday. She's in Fort Lauderdale. But I tell her happy birthday. She always make the mistake of saying she's my sister. She's not. She's my niece. And I want y'all to remember, always keep your head up. You never know. Judy on the move. Y'all know I show up anyway.
Yes.
And I always got my camera on because I think that you need to be heard and seen. Remember, vote. August the 20th is our primary election. Vote. Vote. Vote Curtis Richardson. Vote. Vote. And we want to thank you. In November the 5th, as he stated, we could very well have the very first
Yes.
Black female
Mm-hmm.
president in these United States of America. I don't know about y'all, but the atmosphere seemed to be so much better with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz out there laughing at every turn. Guess what, y'all? We can see this. We can make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I see you at the voting machine. That's real talk.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk.